What is going on, guys? Commodore Lads here today, bringing to you another One Piece manga discussion. Today's video is something I've been wanting to make in regards to a character who is finally going to have some role to play during the Reverie arc. That person being Jewelry Bonney. Now, for those of you guys who know me enough, in the One Piece community, who have talked to me and asked me, Lads, who are some characters that you would like to see have more importance in the story of One Piece that have only had a little bit of time to be shown and just, really haven't been talked about? And one of those people I can definitely tell you who's at the top of my list is Jewelry Bonney. Like, for me, I really loved her, impression, her debut back in Sabaody, and I just felt that there was gonna be some kind of connection I would have with this character, and I wanted to follow their story, going forward. Not to mention the fact that back in high school, I had studied about Anne Bonny, the pirate that she is based off of. So when I found out that Oda had based that character off the actual pirate known as Anne Bonny, I knew right away that this was something I was gonna be super connected to and wanted to know more about this girl's journey. Now, since that chapter 908 is officially out on the Viz, I wanted to discuss what Bonnie's mission is during this arc and how she could actually play a role in recovering Kuma's memories before they are erased by Dr. Vegapunk. But let's talk about the setup that will lead to all of this happening. Now, in chapter 908, we got that little disguise that Bonnie had as, Connie, the queen of the Sorbet Kingdom, but there's something I want to talk about in regards to this. Given that Connie's personality that Bonnie was portraying as the queen of the Sorbet Kingdom, I don't think Oda just added that in there for nothing. I do think that was his way of being sneaky with revealing where Bonnie was actually born or resided in. We know, going back to a photo of Bonnie from when she was a kid, she was seen to be someone who was poor, wearing hand-me-down clothes, but was provided with food to eat. Now, Kuma, who was the previous king of the Sorbet Kingdom, had any kind of connection to Bonnie. I think the potential scenario would be that he took care of her during her younger years. Given that in this chapter, Bonnie states her revenge to Roswaal before shedding a tear at the sight of Kuma, she might have shed tears for Kuma because he raised her when she was a kid. That's why I don't see the Sorbet Kingdom connection between the two just being for nothing. And it kind of changes my perspective a little bit in regards to her crying during Marine 4, because for a long time, the idea was that she was crying because of what happened to Ace and Whitebeard, but now seeing this in chapter 908 makes me believe that the person she actually was crying about was Kuma when she saw exactly what kind of, state he was in during the war. Now, I'm still of the idea that Bonnie that we're seeing right now, like the Bonnie we're seeing in the flesh, is indeed the 24-year-old Jewelry Bonney, which is her true age. So possibly if we're gonna go and, compare the image of her when she was a kid to now, I wouldn't say that possibly 18 years ago when she was around the age of 4 or 5, she was in the care of Bartholomew Kuma. Keep in mind that the pirate Jewelry Bonney that is based off of Anne Bonny was a noble turned into a pirate. So with this, Jewelry Bonney wouldn't be born into a noble family, but was raised as one growing up. However, something happened during those events that led to Kuma eventually joining up with the Revolutionary Army, and that event could very well have something to do with Bonnie. So the idea I believe that triggered all of this involves the Celestial Dragons, specifically Roswaal, who may have captured Bonnie and brought her over to Mary Joie. But before that, we have to understand the meaning behind Kuma's epithet, which he was called the Tyrant. Perona has stated back in Thriller Bark that Kuma was given this name for the atrocities he committed during his time as a pirate. This could have been after having either entered the Revolutionaries or when he was in the process of obtaining a spot in the Warlords. Now, back in the Sorbet Kingdom, St. Roswaal could have showed up in Sorbet looking for slaves to get his hands on. One of those slaves could very well have been Jewelry Bonney. Depending on the connection Kuma had for Bonnie, he may have sought out the Revolutionary Army in order to find a way to rescue her. In the meantime, Bonnie, and like what happened to Boa Hancock and her sisters in the Celestial Dragon's possession, was possibly tortured during this time. When she was able to make her escape from Mary Joie, it could be possible that Kuma played a role in getting her to safety by using his Devil Fruit to send her away from the Holy Land. Had Kuma obtained his position of warlord during that time, it would have been easy for him to go and enter the Holy Land and save his adopted daughter. However, that came with a price, and as we know now with Kuma, he has completely given up his humanity and become a full-fledged cyborg. However, sometime in the past, Kuma might have made a deal with a certain doctor who agreed to help him get into the Holy Land in exchange of becoming a guinea pig for the Pacifista Project. So Kuma's last act as a full-fledged human prior to having parts of the Pacifista Project inside of him was to save Bonnie from captivity. From what we know back in the past, Kuma had agreed to being modified despite his hatred of the world government, but knew that what was more important to him was the safety of his adoptive daughter and was willing to discard his humanity for the person he cared for the most. So now it comes down to how exactly Bonnie will save Kuma from the clutches of the world nobles. She currently shares a common goal with the Revolutionaries, whose main mission is to rescue their comrade. It could very well be that an alliance of sorts happens during this arc, and Bonnie works with the Revolutionaries to save Kuma. We're staying this chapter through Karasu. Even if they rescue Kuma, the Kuma of old is gone for good, with his mind being sacrificed to the world government. As we know, Jewelry Bonney's Delfru, while its official name has yet to be revealed, has the power to manipulate the age of a person from young to old. However, I'm of the mindset that a person's age isn't the only thing she can change. In short, I believe that if Bonnie's Delfru has an awakening, is that she can actually restore something back to its previous form. More specifically, is that she can restore something back to its previous state or accelerate something to a decaying state. This ability would be similar to that of Miranda Lotto from The Gray Man, who has an ability called Time Recovery that sets up a time zone when anything in it will recover and revert back to its original states. So should Bonnie's awakening go further beyond, she could possibly restore Kuma back to when he had his mind prior to being taken away, thus regaining his own free will. And once Kuma has full restoration of his free will, he could very well then use his Delfru powers to help aid Bonnie and the revolutionaries to escape from Mary Joie long after Dragon declares war on the world government. And thus, Kuma and Bonnie, father and daughter, reunite, and the revolutionaries regain their lost comrade in the quest to take down the highest known entities in the world of One Piece. Now, how would Bonnie have gotten her hands on this Delfru in the first place? The two scenarios I can see is that she either stole it from the world nobles during her escape, or that she was force-fed it, similar to what happened to Boa and her sisters when they were slaves. If it is the former, which is what I believe, it could very well be that the Delfru Bonnie possesses was something that the Celestial Dragons kept safeguarded that she got her hands on and stole from them. If the Tree of Delfrus does exist in Mary Joie and is behind one of the two gates opposite of the Celestial Gate, Bonnie might have acquired it during her escape and later learned about its power via the Delfru Encyclopedia. That's pretty much going to wrap up this discussion that I want to bring up today in regards to Jewelry Bonney, but I'm curious to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What exactly is her past? What exactly is her connection to Kuma? What will her Delfru awakening be like? Let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here, and I will catch you guys when chapter 909 of One Piece drops. So Commodore lads, signing off, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care.